If you're watching this, you might be wondering, how was South Korea? Well, it was... Maybe that was too fast. Let's start from the beginning. Why would you go? Maybe it's the thrill of something exciting.
I wanted to take the chance on this trip to go and experience something that most people don't even think about doing in their lifetime. I knew it was going to be life-changing for me if I went.
Maybe it's a chance to follow your passion.
I want to do this as a career. I want to work in film that allows me to travel to other places. So whenever I get the opportunity to go out of the country and to do what I love, it was the best place to start that I could have thought of.
It was a chance to reconnect.
I was adopted from a city called Daegu, which was an hour south of Seoul. And this was my first experience going back to my motherland of Korea.
A chance to get out.
I've never got to leave the country. I barely leave my home state. And let alone, I get to go to South Korea to do filmmaking, which is, my dream passion. That's my dream career. And I'm getting to come out here and record all this beautiful scenery.
To do something big. I never even quite expected to do much with my college experience, but here I am in a different country, learning stuff I would have never gotten a chance to learn.
The date, October 4th, 2024. A group of video production students from Pellissippi State Community College embark on a program to South Korea to gather footage and experience in a remote location. At this moment, we were just peers wondering what this journey had in store for us. Some were anxious, some were excited, and others were extremely tired after not sleeping to make the 3 a.m. call time for our flight. Yet, we persisted for the first leg of our journey, and with our professors and guides at the helm, we start our journey from McGee-Tyson Airport with a very simple 2-hour flight to Dallas-Fort Worth, the heart of Texas. However, our time in Texas was short-lived, as we now embark on our nearly 7,000-mile trek to Busan, South Korea. However, that ends up begging the question.
I'd say that the flight to South Korea from Tennessee was one of the most brutal things I've ever done, I'm not gonna lie.
The flight was definitely an experience. I've been on planes before, but nothing like a 14, 15-hour flight before. It was long.
The transportation to South Korea from America was probably, it was very brutal. To me, it was probably worse than tearing my meniscus and ACL. I can't lie. Just having to sit in such a cramped space for so long, I definitely did not enjoy.
Layover was a bit exhausting because we were going from Knoxville to Korea and laying over in Dallas for 5 hours. That was a little different for me.
But while we were there, everything was great. Loved the bullet train. I even loved the subway rides. I know a lot of people didn't like it, thought it was kind of cramped. You were moving all over the place, but I actually really liked the subway. And it was my first time on a subway, so very good.
Bus from Seoul to Busan was pretty cool. We were all exhausted at that point, and I was asleep for most of it, but it was a good bus ride. Yeah, transportation there was fun while we were in South Korea.
Where did you go? South Korea. 1 second, you're in a 600-year-old palace. The next, you're in the world's largest underground shopping mall staring at prairie dogs. To really break down where all we went, let's start from the beginning. On Sunday, our first excursion was to the Haedong Yeonggangsa Temple. This Buddhist temple serves as a place of worship and hope for the locals, and is a major tourist attraction. Fun fact, they give out free noodles around noon on Sundays. Next, we went to the Gamcheon Culture Village, which is known for its brightly colored houses and maze-like streets. There are many murals and art pieces everywhere and plenty of small shops to get souvenirs and food. On Monday morning, we went to the 29th annual Busan International Film Festival to watch short films submitted from all around the globe. That evening, we went to the Gwangali beach to record interviews and practice time lapses, and then we spent the remainder of the night exploring several of the local arcades. On Tuesday, we set off on the bullet train from Busan to Seoul, where we would spend the remaining 5 days of our trip. That night, we explored the street markets of Seoul, which became a tradition every single night. On Wednesday, we went to the Gyeongbokgung Palace, which felt straight out of a fairy tale. The beautiful trees, ancient architecture, and getting to witness fellow classmates embrace the culture of the palace made it a major highlight of the trip. Later that day, we went to the Insadong Traditional Arts Town to make our own custom name stamps out of soapstone. Thursday was our free day, so we hiked up the Imwangsong Mountain, which is and probably will forever be the best view I will ever experience. Everything from the patches of pink flowers to the perfect viewing rock at the top made the hike a once-in-a-lifetime experience. On Friday, we visited the Coex Aquarium and stared mindlessly at many fish and critters of different origins. Each section of the aquarium had a theme, and each animal got more and more exotic as it went on. We then visited Dongguk University, which is known for its excellence in Buddhist and Oriental studies. Then, the final planned destination of our trip was the famous Seoul Tower. At the base of the tower, there are thousands of lovelocks and plenty of viewing areas, but the true view comes with the observation deck. The observation deck is around 700 feet up and provides a full panoramic view of Seoul. Viewing the entirety of Seoul from the highest point in South Korea was the perfect way to end such an eye-opening trip.
When asked the question, how is it different between the United States and South Korea, the answer isn't straightforward. It's extremely nuanced and shaped by our different cultural roots and unique histories. But with what little time we have, let's explore some of the differences we saw on our trip here to South Korea.
South Korea and America are very similar in a lot of ways, but they're also very different in a lot of ways.
Like the top three things I can think of is the food, the culture, and the destinations, the locations we went to.
You can kind of see this extreme understanding of respect for one another and being kind of kept to themselves. Americans are very loud and almost seeming very intrusive on one another. We don't really take it as disrespectful, but in a place like South Korea, it can be taken as disrespectful.
The manners there are very different from the manners here, and so being able to just have a nice interaction with pretty much anybody who I communicated with was very nice. I liked it.
American holidays like Thanksgiving and Independence Day focus on historical significance and national pride. But here in Korea, their holidays have a more cultural significance. During our trip, we were even able to celebrate one of these events ourselves.
Hangul Day or Hangul 날 is a day, national holiday celebrating the Korean alphabet. And today is Hangul Day, So a lot of traditional events like parades are happening here in Seoul.
Not only did we engross ourselves in Hongo Day, we were also able to partake in some cultural activities.
So I have just recently gotten engaged, and I spent 5,000 won for a piece of wish paper. I'm going to write down a wish for eternal love and happiness between me and my fiance. But I don't think I need a piece of paper to tell me that. But it's nice to have a backup just in case. Thanks, Buddha.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to introduce to you the food break.
Another thing about the food was that it's a lot more nutritious, so you're getting all the nutrients and vitamins and minerals that you would be missing out here in the US.
The food has been absolutely amazing. I tried like this green, it's like seaweed looking thing. That was pretty rough. I ate an entire crab. It was really spicy.
Oh, this is a big one.
You can tell that the food here is like a lot better quality because of the preservatives that they don't have in there. It's like my stomach is rock solid. I've been eating the craziest things. But overall, food here in Korea is amazing.
What was your favorite part? South Korea was full of many once-in-a-lifetime moments, but it's hard to keep up with all of them. Some people like staying within their comfort zone. Some, not so much. But I feel like we all made memories that will never be forgotten.
Oh man, favorite moment? Probably whenever we were in Cultural Village. Like, I loved Cultural Village. While we were there, getting to like walk around in those little staircases, and all the buildings were built up on top of each other, and just like getting up on the building and just like seeing all the colorful houses was like one of the coolest things.
My favorite part of this trip by far was the hike. I thought the hike was awesome. Getting to go to the top of a Korean mountain is just something I could never do in my lifetime if it weren't for this program, and that should not put the other parts of this trip to shame.
One of my top things was definitely like either driving around from Seoul to Busan. I know that sounds kind of rough, and also getting in the bullet train, but the reason why I really liked it is because I was able to see like all of Korea.
My favorite part of the trip for sure was just getting to travel with everybody, getting to hang out with everybody, and being in an environment that is so uniquely different from America, and just getting to experience that with everybody for the first time.
Now, the main purpose of this program was to be able to shoot in a remote location, and traveling to South Korea certainly fit the bill. Thanks to our wonderful directors, guides, and professors, we were able to learn so much more about our field where we wouldn't have been able to before.
The difference between teaching here in South Korea and having class in a classroom in the Hardin Valley campus at Pellissippi State is just, again, complete immersion into another environment. It's almost like learning a foreign language. You have to be completely immersed in it to really be able to learn it and appreciate it. So I think that every single thing that we've done this week has been through the mindset of a videographer, of a video production student.
This experience for me shooting here in Korea is different than shooting in the States because of not knowing the culture as well. Being in new places and not knowing whether or not it's okay to film, not being able to read anything. All these things are just roadblocks that we have to figure out how to go around.
This whole class, this whole trip to Korea has really become like a culmination of everything that we've learned throughout our time at Pellissippi, especially as video students. We've run into a lot of the problems that we told that we would run into, formatting cards incorrectly, not plugging things in correctly, shooting at the wrong frame rate. we've run into all of that. And on this trip, you don't get do-overs. You go to a place once, and you're probably never gonna go there again. This really shows the importance of doing things correctly. So the TnCIS program has really helped me know what it's like to be in our job field, because there are no do-overs. That's what I like about this.
Was the trip fun?
Yeah, Korea was a lot of fun. I loved it.
The trip was so much fun. I actually wanted to stay longer, and I feel like I speak for everybody. Everybody wanted to stay longer.
This trip was probably the most fun that I've had in years. I loved being with everybody. I loved doing all of the activities that we did. I loved how much we've learned while we went. It's definitely sitting high up on my top 10s, for sure.
As if that didn't help answer the question, maybe this will.
I'm Korean. I approve this message.
You asked, how was South Korea?
It was fun.
It was different.
It was tiring.
It was a new world.
It was a memory we won't ever forget.
So I hope that answered the question. How was South Korea?
잊어버려 지난 날은 모두 전부 지난 날일 뿐이야 이젠 소용없어 후회해도 슬퍼해도 달라지는 건 없어 주위를 둘러봐